See you, hon. Have a good day. Love you. That's the wife gone to work now, which is pretty essential for this point because the oven's on. I'm going to do some bacon. And for today's recipe we have engine parts. For God's sake, don't tell the wife that I'm baking engine parts in the oven. It's literally not worth my life. So these are the engine parts for the Lupo. We decided to jazz the engine bay up a little bit, so the rocker cover has been painted by Spencer in original Fantasia green. We've also done the inner manifold and all the boost pipes in crackle black or wrinkle black effect. They look pretty good as well, and this is the power steering bracket. You can see here that I've extended it a little bit because normally it's much shorter than that, and I made it bigger just so that I can fit my boost pipes underneath. So now I just need to get this little lot in the oven. $200 degrees for an hour, and they should be delicious. Don't worry, I'm not thick. I mean, I know she'll find out. But if I asked her beforehand, it would just be a straight no. Finds out after, it's already a yes, isn't it? Hopefully she doesn't kick me head in. I don't think I'm going to get away with this one, mind, because even though all the bits are now out the oven and they look absolutely mint, it does smell in here a little bit. And my wife, she's got a keen nose for naughtiness, so I think she's going to know that I've been up to something. Now what I'm going to do to get rid of the smell. Anyone like Febreze with the smell of baked on paint? It has subsided a little bit now, so hopefully it'll not be too bad by the time she gets in from work, bless her. So time to go in the garage. I'll get the engine parts in because I need to get them fitted today without a doubt, because Cumbriavag is tomorrow, and I've already said that I'm going to go and help my pal Dan finish his Mark 2 this afternoon, so I've got to really squeeze it in. I've also got to squeeze in fitting the new drive shaft to the Lupo. This is the new shaft that I've received, so hopefully I'll get that fitted today as well. If not, oh God, this might be an all-nighter just to get all the cars ready. Anyway, let's go into the garage and we'll bash on. So let's talk about Lupo 18T drive shafts, or more specifically, let's talk about my Lupo 18T drive shafts. This is the Lupo 18T conversion near side drive shaft. It's made from a Mark 4 Golf GTI near side shaft. It's been drilled out on a lathe, doweled, and then fully welded up. I think maybe the big contributing factor for this failing was probably because it hasn't been sleeved on top. If this shaft had been butt welded together and then sleeved, there's a good chance that it'd still be in one bit. And to be fair, I don't really feel bad for the fact that it isn't still in one bit, because I mean, let's face it, look at it. First of all, it's like a toothpick, it's tiny. But second of all, this shaft was actually welded in 2014. 2014, we're now in 2019. So this shaft has lasted 5 years, which I think is pretty good going, because let's face it, most conversions don't even last 5 years. You know, they get sold on and broken for bits or whatever because they're not done very well or whatever. But this shaft's, it's actually done alright, and it's only really give up the ghost when we put it on track. And that is after a full year of track time as well. Lots of track days. Lots of track days. So yeah, that's the old shaft. We're not dealing with that anymore. I could have probably got that repaired by getting it welded together and then sleeved, and it probably would have been alright. But the thing that is going against this shaft is this outer bit here as well. Now this is the inner CV outer. I think it's about 28 splines, if I remember rightly, but it's tiny, to be honest. And the CVs that you have to use this this inner bit of shaft are these crap tripod CVs. The bearings are pretty weak. The actual cup that holds them is huge, and I didn't really like this design. Loads of people are having problems with that design, including Bill Brockbank at Badger 5. He runs them on his Lupo and it has problems, but I mean, you know, he's known for 400 brake horse, so that's understandable. So I decided I wanted to go for a stronger CV. Now let's talk about options. There's tons of options. I could have sort of shortened Mark 2, Mark 3, golf shafts, no problem. Decided to go for this, which is a shortened Mark 4 Golf GT TDI 5-speed shaft. It differs from the 6-speed shaft because the 6-speed shaft are even fatter again, but this is a 5-speed Mark 4 TDI shaft. And the good thing about it is the outer part is just exactly the same. So this goes into the Lupo hub. The inner bit is much beefier. Look at that. That is 33 splines, and it's huge compared to this. I think it's 28 anyway. 28 splines, and it's tiny, and it's like a toothpick compared to it. And the good thing about this is the CV that fits the end of this shaft, the inner CV, is a lot beefier. And instead of having these crap little tripod bearings, this is a bit minging, but it has the standard conventional sort of big beefy 5-bearing CV joint like this. Now this is the same type of joint that's fitted to the S3, although the S3 being a 6-speed, they are a bit beefier. But yeah, this is going to be much stronger than that crap tripod system. The only differences with moving from the 18T shaft to the TDI shaft means that the CV is different, obviously, but it also means that the CV cups differently. Because I was using the 18T inner CVs, I had to use the 108mm gearbox CV cup. But now I'm going to have to change them to the 100mm versions, which are, you know, like O2A type stuff, really common. And then I can bolt up the new CV. Now it hasn't all been plain sailing as well. Because I'm using a different CV, it means that the actual shaft has had to be a different length, because there's loads of give in that tripod design. There's about 50mm of movement on the CV. And that was alright for the 391mm inner near side shaft. But because there's less movement on this much beefier TDI CV, I've had to go through the whole measuring process again. And this shaft is ended up at 415mm exactly. So yeah, so the next step is to get the CVs on this shaft and get this fitted to the car. And I'll be doing that whilst my nice shiny engine bits all cure and cool down. So, I didn't want to do any more drive shafts, but I'm going to have to, so let's get on with it.
without acting alone. Have complete control. Have complete control. You without have no soul.
That's the shaft back on the car now. So I've changed the drive shaft cup to the 100mm version, fitted the TDI inner CV. It's got a much beefier shaft, as you can see, and hopefully I'll not have to go through the hassle of notching this chassis leg, because I have notched the other side for the drive shaft. And with the hub nut on, there's still some in and out movement on both sides, which is absolutely perfect. That was the pain in the arse, to be honest, about measuring it, and it was just getting that right, because you don't want it to bind it up when you're turning left or right. Now I'm not going to take this car for alignment this time, because I basically haven't got enough time. It's literally the day before the show and Andy's really busy. So all I did before I took it apart, I sprayed spray paint just on the edge of where the ball joint goes, and then to put it back together, all I've done is match the paint and the bolts exactly where they were. So this should be nigh on exactly how it was before I took it apart. So that's the drive shaft back in the car. Obviously I can't test drive it until I've put the engine back together and get it up and running again, but I am going to do that. And because I've got that side to side movement, I'm not going to do that again. Because I've got that side to side movement on the shaft, I'm really confident that this one is fine. It's not too long so that I bind up, and it's not too short that I come off the circlip. It's really good. I'm really happy with it. And if you're interested in who actually made that shaft for us, because I was going to be making it myself, the first thing I thought of was, well, I'll just sleeve this shaft. I'll get me pal to turn down a sleeve, because he's got me lathe. I sold that to him, John. Hope you're enjoying it. I was going to get a sleeve turned down, I was going to weld it back together, I was going to true it up on his lathe, and I was just going to chuck it back on the car. So a really nice chap called Kristaps Berzin, I hope I said his name right, because it's like, I think he's, I'm going to be really ignorant here, I think he's Polish. Anyway, he's a really nice guy, and he got in touch with me on the Lupo forum on Facebook and said, I can make you a shaft. I think he's running a PD lump Lupo, and his shafts that he made are coping well with like 400 odd foot-pounds of torque, which this doesn't make. So I got Kristaps to make it for us. He did an absolutely blinding job, and I think he's very much open to make these for other people. So if you're interested, then I'll leave a little link below how you can get in touch with him. But he's on the Lupo forums, the Lupo Turbo forums, I think, on Facebook. So if you need a shaft, then I highly recommend it. And I really can't see that one snapping, because it was actually Kristaps himself who suggested we use an offside shaft, because they're much thicker, and therefore it'll make it stronger. And now I have offside shafts on both sides of the car, so nice big beefy shafts. I can't see me having any more drive shaft problems. And if there was a bit of wood round here to touch, then I'll touch it, because I really don't want the problems. Right, enough rabbiting. I think I'll grab a brew and we'll get all these engine parts fitted. Oh, check out the rain. Lovely. I'll be the first to admit, I don't always torque things up to factory spec, but stuff like gasket faces, you know, like sump to engine block, everything that really needs to be torqued up, I always torque up. Little bits and bobs like Jubilee clips, all the rest of it, no, I'm not going to torque it up. Then I'll use the Mark 1 wrist to do it. But stuff like this, I absolutely make sure that I torque it up correctly. the engine all back together now. Nice and shiny and crackle black and all the rest of it. And it has really tidied it up. I'm really happy with it. Ultimately, this isn't a show car, so it hasn't got to be perfect. I want it to be practical. I just wanted to, if I thought it was going to be on the field, it might as well look a little bit prettier. So yeah, rocker cover in the Fantasia green and everything else in crackle black. I still have a blue tip, but I'm really not bothered about that because, like I say, this isn't a show car. I think it'll look clean. So there's just one thing left for me to do, and that's to give the full car a nice scrub and polish and all the rest of it, and get it, do the show car thing basically. I've turned into someone who has a show car. I don't believe it. So not only am I under the cost to get my car ready for the show, but I'm also helping my pal Dan get his Mark II ready for the show. Now this thing, if we can get it together, is going to be on the showground at Cumbriavag, and we've still got lots to do. It's been quite a while since I've played with a Mark II. I don't even play with anything half as old as that now. So I'm actually a little bit reminiscent. I'm quite enjoying it. Let's see if we can bring it back together. Here he is here. See the smile on his face?
My face though.
He's not smiling at the minute. He'll be smiling tomorrow when we get the car back together, like, but
so we've got the choice of both, nothing in between.
Oh yeah.
Waters.
One too short and one too big.
Yeah. But minus that, it's like 2 threads bigger.
It'll be sweet, man. It's just you haven't got that pointy bit to help you get it up, that's all.
Get it up.
Get it up.
Get it up.
Need a hand getting it up. Anyway, let's get the rear bumper on. Mark II golf bumper bolts without jacking it up. Do you think I've done it before? Check this out. Where else are you going to find a 3-door Sierra Cosworth shell? Never been registered, never seen the road at all. Immaculate. And for sale. Anyone got 6 grand? Adam Smith it like this. Well, that's me leaving Dan now. Bless him, he's got a lot of work to do before tomorrow. I hope he gets it done because the car is looking really good, and it'd be a shame to be one car down on the convoy all the way to Cumbriavag, but I'm sure he'll get it done. So I think we'll end this one here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully that's been a bit interesting, a little bit stressful. Catch you on the next one.